Welcome to Own Your Words. Continually. Meaning with examples. Pronunciation. Continually. Continually. It is an adverb. Meaning. 1. When you do something continually, you do it over and over again. 2. Very often, at regular or frequent intervals, habitually. 3. In a way that happens repeatedly. 4. In a continual manner, without stopping or interruption. 5. In a constantly repeated manner, over and over. Examples. 1. They bickered continually, ignoring me as I worked around them. 2. The teacher was angry because a student continually interrupted him during the lesson. 3. Old Smoky pumped out as much smoke as heat, but we had to keep her stoked continually. 4. He almost continually flashed about the room, the ingratiating boyish smile. 5. But it was a restless sleep-in, which he tossed and moaned continually. 6. During and after supper, conversation seemed to continually migrate back to Cynthia. 7. Mrs. Danvers never obtruded herself, but I was aware of her continually. 8. My aunt continually brought us huge plates of rice, fish, stew, and plantains. 9. Netley's father brimmed continually with sage, and sophisticated counsel of that kind. 10. Heidi has to wind the cuckoo clock continually, to keep it running continuously. 11. Thousands of dreams of a future family life continually rose in her imagination. 12. The papacy of this period continually intervened in the internal affairs of the monasteries. Coolly. Meaning with examples. Pronunciation. Coolly. Coolly. It is an adverb. Meaning. 1. When you do or say something coolly, it's done with a calm smoothness. 2. In a cool, unpanicked, or collected manner. 3. With an unfriendly attitude that lacks affection, or interest in something or someone. Examples. 1. As a responsible assembly, we should approach this question calmly, coolly and impartially. 2. Mrs. Coulter didn't flinch, she looked at him coolly and turned back to Will. 3. I'm here, she says coolly, leaning against the doorframe, and acting like she didn't just ignore me for the whole day. 4. Thanks, Hamilton said coolly to the marina owner, and we pulled back over to the street. 5. From behind the desk, he gazes at me coolly from that position of authority. 6. If he did, Ishtar said coolly, he'd have no bargaining chip with you, now, would he? 7. My father sat through it coolly, occasionally looking at his watch, or squaring the edges of his presentation notes. 8. Good thing I took those flight lessons internet, he remarks coolly. 9. You go to that secret intelligence school on the hill, don't you? She inquired coolly. 10. You're coming to Longbourn, to see me and my family, said Mr. Darcy coolly. Cruelly. Meaning with examples. Pronunciation. Cruelly. Cruelly. It is an adverb. Meaning. 1. In a way that shows a desire to cause physical or mental pain and make somebody suffer. 2. In an extremely unkind and unpleasant way. 3. In a way that causes physical or mental pain and makes somebody suffer. Examples. 1. The disaster has cruelly exposed the gap between his rhetoric and the reality. 2. But what, said she, after a pause, can have been his motive? What can have induced him to behave so cruelly? 3. However, players can be cruelly exposed, whenever a ball or opponent does something unexpected. 4. Once, 5 years ago, she had seen one of her own handmaids cruelly flogged. 5. His fingers twisted her, the pinch cruelly hard through the rough fabric of her tunic. 6. Many more treated Indians cruelly, murderously so, killing countless thousands. 7. At lightning speed the big rat's claws shot out, and grabbed them both cruelly by the ears. 8. They lugged Matthias off without further explanation, tugging cruelly on his lead. 9. You might think I felt betrayed, my childhood dreams of the university cruelly shattered. 10. Almost every one of the radiant divinities could act cruelly or contemptibly. Diagonally. Meaning with examples. Pronunciation. Diagonally. Diagonally. It is an adverb. Meaning. 1. At an angle, in a way that joins two opposite sides of something at an angle. 2. In a diagonal manner, not square to any direction. 3. In a straight and sloping way that is not horizontal or vertical, for example joining two opposite corners of a square, or other flat shape with 4 sides. Examples. 1. The rectangular pieces of cloth are folded diagonally, and draped over the head. 2. She wore a thin white towel arranged diagonally, over her chest and slung over one shoulder. 3. The rules of the game prescribe, for instance, that the bishop can be moved only diagonally. 4. With a screen that measures 4.7 inches diagonally, the SE is slightly smaller than the Mini. 5. The Highland Railway bisects it diagonally, from Dunkeld to the borders of Inverness Shire. 6. The bishops travel diagonally in straight lines, and the knights can jump in an L shape. 7. Thinking fast, he ran diagonally, catching up with the thief at the foot of the stairs. 8. Market Street was the main street of the city, and ran diagonally across it, dividing the city in half. 9. The taller one has a shaved head, and a scar that cuts diagonally across part of his scalp. 10. He walks confidently out of the elevator, and diagonally through the main floor of the ship. 11. He pointed to a tiny fissure run diagonally, from the edge to the bottom. Doubtfully. Meaning with examples. Pronunciation. Doubtfully. Doubtfully. It is an adverb. Meaning. 1. In a way that shows you are uncertain, and feeling doubt. 2. In a doubtful manner, in context of doubt or ambiguity, questionably. 3. With skepticism, in a way that shows feelings of doubt. Examples. 1. She was tightening the cinch on the last one, when Gerald eyed the horse doubtfully. 2. Falcon looked doubtfully from him to Army Man, but the latter waved his hand. 3. Charles Darnay shook his head and doubtfully smiled, as the carriage rolled away. 4. You mean all of us in the whispering gallery at the same time? Said Constance doubtfully. 5. Listening doubtfully, the unsuspecting lottery winner was surprised, when her numbers were called. 6. When I was small I wore skirts, and my hair was long and curled, it said, doubtfully. 7. He drew another glass of tea from the samovar, and Will took it doubtfully. 8. As I start on the second leg I toss the tube to Finnick, who eyes me doubtfully. 9. The child sat on his knees, stiffened her back away from him and stared at him doubtfully. 10. You reckon we ought to start? Asked Sister Price doubtfully, after a pause. 11. His brows furrowed doubtfully, and he pulled the end of his brown mustache. If you like the video, please hit the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for more videos. Meanings and examples are available in video description.